What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is your man, Brandon Gio.
And your boy, Jamichael Moore. And we are the Residual Impact Podcast.
Here, we inspire others to find the greatness within themselves
and apply it to their communities.
Let's go. I love it.
Same here, B.
Yo, man. How was your week, brother?
The week was good this week. Very busy, balanced. But overall, I'm just happy to be alive. Like, truly. Like, I'm just grateful for every single day because it's life, bro.
For real.
It's life, man.
Hey, it's always good to be alive,
It
man.
is, bro. But how about you? How was your week, B?
My week was great. It was definitely a good week, I must say. Every day above ground is a good day. I cannot complain at all. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely cannot complain. I love it here. Sometimes, for the most part, I love it here.
Hey, you being real, though.
I'm being real.
You being real.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, the week was great. Until today when I found out that you put hot sauce on your pizza.
What? Come on, B. You gotta
Who does that?
Come on, bro. You telling me you don't like hot sauce, B, on your pizza?
I like hot sauce on my chicken.
Come on.
Not pizza.
Nah, man. You gotta.
Where they do that? Who'd you learn that from?
Look, I picked it up from Selena one day, man. Rest in peace to Selena. But the movie, the dude put hot sauce on his pizza, and Selena tried it. She loved it. Ever since then, I fell in love with hot sauce on my pizza.
Bruh. Listen, I never heard of nothing else going on pizza other than its normal toppings, right? Pepperoni, even though I don't mess with swine.
Swine is divine.
Chicken, veggies, even pineapple. Yeah, that don't belong on pizza, but I've seen people do it, Yeah, I said it. To everybody who likes pineapple on their pizza, I said it. It don't belong.
I ain't rocking with
pineapple on pizza does not go together.
That I can agree with you on.
All right, good. I'm glad because ranch goes on pizza.
Oh my God! I disagree.
It don't matter what you disagree with. Ranch
disgusting.
goes on pizza.
I think we should take a poll. Who likes hot sauce versus ranch on their pizza?
I'm pretty sure most people are gonna say ranch over hot sauce.
Come on now.
Who puts hot sauce on their pizza?
The real ones.
Who?
Y'all know who y'all are.
Who that?
The real ones. Shout out to all my real ones.
Listen, don't nobody put hot sauce on their pizza but you.
Look, B, if I could carry around hot sauce in my pocket, bruh, I would do it. Because hot sauce can go on anything, and especially pizza.
Can it go on grits?
That's disgusting.
Because you sound like the type of person that would put hot sauce on your grits right now.
I would never disrespect my grits with hot sauce, though. I can't do that. But some cheese in it, though. Oh, we talking business then, B.
Cheese grits are okay.
Whoa.
I can't get with it, man.
Whoa, B.
All I need in my grits is salt, a little bit of pepper, and some butter.
Whoa. I agree with you on all three of those ingredients, but you're missing out on the key one, though, B. It has to have some cheese in it.
It don't.
Unless you lactose intolerant.
I probably am.
B.
Listen, I don't know. I can't rock with cheese and grits. And I know that statement about me probably being lactose intolerant don't work because butter is dairy.
I didn't even think about that. Wow.
But that's neither here nor there. I can't really rock with cheese on my grits, man. Call me old fashioned. Call me, you know what I'm saying, Mr. Plain. I can't really do cheese in the grits like that.
You must ain't had the right cheese in there, B.
What cheese you supposed to put in there? Cheddar?
Nah, well, yeah, I guess that is cheddar. But it gotta be the American square cheese. Make sure it's real hot, B, and you stir it around in there. Get it in there as it's still cooking and boiling up. Change your life, man. I'm telling you.
You talking about like the Kraft singles?
I am. What? Come on now. Come on now, bruh. Take it back. Come on
Listen, no. See, that's the hood.
Hey.
Listen.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, all right? That's all I'm saying.
Yo. Nah, that's the hood mentality. Listen, we ain't there no more.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
We ain't talking about the big old block of Velveeta now. We have done that too, though. But just talking about get your little square. You buy 3, wrap them up, and throw them in there.
Listen, if I'm going to put any type of cheese on grits, it's got to be shredded. Just so I can put a little bit, like just to give it a little bit of flair. know what I'm saying? A little bit of added flavor. But even then, like I can do without. Put it that way.
You ain't had the right ones, B. You ain't had the right ones.
I've had it with the square cheese. Like with the square slices. No.
That wasn't it?
That definitely wasn't it.
Oh, man.
I would honestly say that shredded cheese on grits is better than the square cheese on the grits.
Oh, man. We're going to take a poll. We're going to take a poll on that and the hot sauce on the pizza.
Listen, for those of y'all who are listening right now, for those of y'all who are watching right now, follow us over on Instagram, Residual Impact Podcast. We are going to put up a poll in our stories after this episode airs so that way you can go ahead and answer. We would love to see your responses and know what's up. Do you put hot sauce on your pizza or do you prefer ranch on your pizza if you put any additional sauces on it at all? When it comes to your grits, do you add cheese or not? Let us know.
Please add cheese.
Enough talk about the food, man, because we ain't getting nowhere now.
You're right. Respect.
One thing that I can say that we most likely agree on is that music is really good right now.
Most likely it's popping.
I know last weekend we touched on the whole Drake and Kanye situation.
Yes, sir.
But, for this episode, I would love to give a shout out to the ladies who are killing it in R&B right now, especially Ari Lennox, my girl Courtney. What's up? Yo, for those of y'all who know me, Ari and I are on a first name basis, right?
What?
That's my homie Courtney. She's really not, but I really wish she was. In my head, I'm thinking like we know each other like that. She called me Brandon, I call her Courtney. But nah, shout out to Ari Lennox. I love her music. I love her sound. I mean, her voice is immaculate.
I would agree.
Immaculate, man. Like, she dropped a new single called Pressure, and boy, it is definitely applying pressure out here on the charts. Speaking of charts, though.
What's good, B?
The next shout out I want to give to is to Chloe Bailey for dropping her debut single, Have Mercy. She climbed the charts this weekend for sure.
Yes, she did.
Dropped the single on Friday, and as of right now, while we're recording this, on iTunes for all music genres, she is at number 4. For iTunes R&B, she is at number 1. Woo. She is killing it.
Congratulations.
Chloe is killing it. And she's set to perform at the VMAs tomorrow. Of course, as you guys know, we do record before we drop the episode. So today is September 11th, 2021. The VMAs is tomorrow on September 12th. So Chloe will be performing at the VMAs tomorrow. And I can't wait to see that performance. And speaking of performances at the VMAs, I lastly want to give a shout out to Normani, who is now performing at the MTV VMAs tomorrow, since singer Lorde has dropped from the performance list.
Shout out to her.
Shout out to Normani. She was definitely one of my favorite members. Actually, she was my favorite member of Fifth Harmony. Even though I didn't listen to their music, I knew about Fifth Harmony. And I always had an eye on Normani. She is talented. She can definitely perform her butt off. She's just gifted, man, musically. And I know, like, her latest single with Cardi B is killing it. People love it. It's a bop. Samples Aaliyah, and it's going to be an amazing performance tomorrow, I think. Dope. So I look forward to seeing Normani performing at the VMAs as well. Shout out to all 3 of you ladies, and keep doing your thing, for real.
Please do. Salute to our women.
I think that bar was set kind of high on that one, because I don't know who's going to be able to top those 3.
I don't know. Because Chloe she killing it right now.
She killing it.
She is.
Have mercy. Yo, speaking of setting the bar too high.
What's up?
I want to touch on the topic that I saw on Twitter early last week, right? There was a couple who is based out of Tennessee. They were kind of like dating, getting to know each other and stuff like that for a little while. I don't know the exact time limit that they were dating for before they became official. But the gentleman surprised his lady with a trip to Atlanta.
A-Town.
And, they went to Papados. I saw they got massages and stuff like that. Like, it was a nice little road trip. You know what I'm saying? He surprised her with the entire thing. And he did all of that just to ask her to be his girlfriend.
Ooh, interesting.
Right. Now, the video was floating around on Twitter. I actually saw it again on Instagram yesterday. I think Spiritual Word reposted the whole thing on Instagram. So I thought it was very nice. I mean, it was amazing. Like, I love seeing, young couples doing their thing, especially young black couples, man. It lets me know that, people still really care about each other out here.
Yeah, that's right.
And, they're not just getting with each other just to say that they have somebody. You know what I'm saying? But one thing I will say that a lot of people were questioning, I'm not going to lie, I was questioning this too when I first saw it before I heard the young lady in the relationship speak on it a little bit more. Why did he go all out just to ask her to be his girlfriend? I mean, he surprised her with a trip to Atlanta from Tennessee.
That's one.
They went to Papados.
Papados is
Now, you've been to Papados before, right? Because I know I have.
Man, they ain't cheap.
It ain't cheap.
They ain't cheap.
Papados definitely ain't cheap.
Especially not that alligator.
Oh, man. I've never had gator before, but I've seen it on the menu. It ain't cheap.
It's not.
Okay? They got massages together.
That ain't cheap.
I forget what else happened in the video, but I know they at least did those 3 things. And it was a nice weekend. It looked like a very nice weekend that the two of them had, and I'm glad that they were able to enjoy it together.
Oh, one more. They went to the sugar factory.
Oh, right. They did. They went to the sugar factory.
Not cheap.
No, it's not cheap at all. But do you think that he set the bar too high for their relationship?
In my personal opinion, I would say yes and no. The reason I would say no is first because who knows? That brother could be making some real good money where, hey, that's nothing to him. That could be what he's probably used to.
Right.
Now, in other words, I can say yes, he kind of did, because long term speaking, now he done put that bar up there, and it's like you can't go below that. He can't hit her up with no, yo, let's go to Chili's one night and let's go chill out. Like, nah, I gotta be something above Papados, something above. Nah, I mean, maybe not every time, but something above those restaurants, something in the same caliber of those restaurants, because maybe she'll be in that mindset of like, hey, this is what you did for me before. Why are you now kind of regressing? And this was, like you said, just to become boyfriend and girlfriend. So this is the intro. This is what, hey, you've set the tone now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in my perspective, that is a little high.
That is pretty high.
That is high.
Because, in fact, I showed the video to a friend of mine, and she said that she thought that he was proposing. He did all that to propose.
I did too, B. I thought the same thing until you told me otherwise.
Yeah. So, I don't know, man. I mean, again, I love it for them. You know, it was a great video. Everything that they did was amazing. But I kind of agree with you on that. Like, I think he did set the tone, right? So, imagine what's going to happen for an anniversary if she might be... Now, I don't know either person in the relationship, but just thinking what's going to happen if maybe their year anniversary gets here, 2-year anniversary, whatever. Is she going to be expecting more than what happened when he asked her out?
Yeah.
Or if they make it to an engagement, is he going to have to top how he asked her to become his girlfriend to ask her now to become his wife? Is he going to have to go way above and beyond what he already did just to get to that point?
I most definitely think he's going to have to go above and beyond. Because, I mean, it's like now, it's like you've put it in her mind, hey, this is what I'm getting. This is what he's bringing me into this. This is what now I'm expecting these things.
Right.
Maybe not 24/7, but like you said, for these special occasions, she's looking at it like, man, like, this is what I'm coming into. Like, this is nice. Okay, I can do this. But
well, we'll see. I mean, best of luck to them. You know, it looks
definitely.
like it was definitely an amazing video. You know, if the two of them really love each other, that's all that matters.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? No matter what they have to go through when it comes to like the anniversaries or even a proposal later on down the line.
Yeah.
I wish them nothing but the best.
Yeah. But let me ask you a question, though. Do you think, okay, now seeing what he's done, knowing that he's going to have to possibly top himself, do you think us as men, we should have the bar start like a little bit lower so that we can build our way up? Or do you think that we should, you know, show them the best of the best if we know it's going to be our lady? Because we do want to impress as men. We want to impress.
We do.
So what do you do? Especially being a single man right now. Like, what you think, B?
Pressure's on, huh?
The pressure is on, B. Like, what is it? What you think?
That is a great question. Now, maybe I might have to start my bar a little bit lower than that. I don't know. I mean, because like I'm not really thinking too much about dating right now, so I can't even really answer that at the moment because I'm truly, really focusing on myself at this point in my life, right? Like I've mentioned in the previous episode, every single relationship that I've had in my 20s literally took up 7 years of my 20s, giving me 3 years of my 20s to myself. So with that being said, maybe the next time I do pursue a young woman and I, you know, want to take her out I want to make her mine. I might go a little bit above and beyond depending where I am in my life at that time. But as of right now, I can't even really think about it.
That's real. That's being real. And I just thought about something as you were even saying that. Maybe it's not necessarily about it's like quality over quantity.
Right.
As long as you put a lot of thought into what it is you're doing, might not matter how much money you're spending on these different events. It's like, how much thought are you really putting in it? What the quality of it? And I think the girl should appreciate it.
Of course.
I think so.
Now, if we're talking about any of the 3 young ladies that I mentioned beforehand when I gave them shout outs, definitely Courtney. Give me a call, girl. DM me. I know I said the same thing about Kelly Rowland last week, but listen, Ari Lennox.
Only one can call you, B.
Yo, I got to put it out there. Manifestation. We talked about this, brother.
I don't blame you.
We talked about
Shoot
this.
your shot, brother.
So,
Yeah,
Courtney,
right.
give me a call. You know what I'm saying?
Get him in a call.
Give me a call. Slide in my DMs. Holla at me. I'll make sure I go above and beyond. You understand?
Oh, man.
That's all I'm saying.
Man.
If not Courtney, Normani, hit me up. Hit me up. And if not Normani, have mercy. Chloe,
Woo.
what's poppin'?
What if they all 3 saw this and they was like, well, he said all 3 of us, but
I'd have to choose.
you have to choose.
I'd have to choose.
It's hard. It's a hard choice, B.
It's a hard choice. And I'm not going to say who my choice is, but a lot of my closest friends know who out of all 3 of them, who I talk about the most. But, for those of y'all who are listening, y'all aren't going to find out. If one of them hits me up, I'll say that one was the one who I talk about the most.
Oh, man.
None of them are going to hit me up right now. But it's good to dream, though. Dreams are good.
Dreams are good. Dreams are great, actually.
Yeah. But hey, you know what? One thing that I've taken away from all of this,
What's that?
you must think bigger sooner.
Real talk. Real talk.
There's nothing wrong with that. If you want to accomplish something, no matter what, you have to dream big. Like you mentioned in last week's episode, you got to dream big, right? Thinking bigger much sooner will allow you to shoot for the moon, because if you miss, you're still among the stars, right? So many people say that the sky is the limit, but I don't believe that. I believe the sky is still too low of a ceiling. It's down here. Like your ceiling might be like right here. Like if you're watching me on YouTube, you're probably seeing what I'm doing. But for those of you who are listening, the ceiling that somebody may put on your dreams is too low. So some people say that the sky is the limit. I still think that is too low. You got to aim higher than that.
Aim high.
So think bigger sooner.
I love that, B. I love that. And just to compliment that, I would just say, hey, be ready to receive then too.
Always.
Yeah, that's how you got to go.
So ain't nothing wrong with me thinking big about Ari Lennox sliding into my DMs.
Bruh. Nothing wrong.
Nothing wrong.
Who knows?
She might one day.
Who knows?
And if it's tomorrow,
You stupid.
I ain't say all that, B. But who knows?
call me. Call me. I'll give you just slide in the DMs. I'll give you the number.
Oh, man. Oh, gosh. What else you got for us, B?
Yo, just thinking about everything that's been popping this week, right? We've already touched on music. What's good with the movies, man? Like movie theaters are opening again, like nationwide. Like I said, last week I saw Shang-Chi. I just saw an amazing trailer a couple of days ago for a movie franchise that I've loved since I was a kid.
What was that?
The Matrix.
Oh.
They are coming out with a new Matrix movie. Did you know that?
I did not, B.
Yo, listen. It's coming out around Christmas, and I can't wait to see that because December is going to be a good month for movies with the new Matrix and Spider-Man No Way Home. It's going to be great.
That's classic, B.
It definitely is, and I look forward to it, man. But, yo, The Matrix was one of my, favorite franchises growing up because of just the whole thought process of people being sold a dream and a dream in a sense of their everyday life, right? Their so-called reality was all make-believe. It was created by the machines who took over the world and kept the humans in a dream state. So everything that the humans saw and loved and thought was real was not real at all.
You talking something, B. You talking something.
And that was one of the things that kind of got me into entrepreneurship because a friend of mine and I talked about this a couple months ago. Education is definitely very important, right? It is extremely important.
Most definitely.
But I think what's most important is the type of education that you're receiving. Growing up our whole lives, and I know we touched on this briefly in a previous episode when we talked about college. Growing up our whole lives, we go to school Monday through Friday, 8 hours a day, have weekends off. Why? Because it's preparing us for the workforce. It's preparing us for when we become adults. We can already be used to working 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, having 2 days off.
Ooh. Whoa, B, hold on now.
That's the matrix that we grew up in.
Oh, hold on, B. Am I in the movie? Did I take the pill already? Hold on, B. Did I take the pill?
Listen, we might be in the movie because that's just our life. That was our reality. Like, that's all we knew until we got to a certain age to where we're like, yo, this can't be life.
You're right.
We can't just be designed to work, and then retire when we're elderly. How are we going to enjoy life?
We ain't got no time.
No time at all. Me personally, I value my time way more than I value money. Because I can get money and lose it and then get it back. But if I ever lose time, ain't no way I'm getting that back.
It ain't coming back.
It's gone. You understand?
Bars.
I can't live my life working for somebody else the entirety of my life just to retire when I'm in my 60s. Each year, the retirement age is getting pushed higher and higher and higher. So then when we get to that age, it might be in our 70s that we got to retire. Or maybe even our 80s, if we even live that long. Lord willing.
B, you just made me think about something.
What up, though?
The fact that you said we go to school, they done conditioned us through Monday through Friday, right? Think about when you're going to college, they done got it so good to where a lot of people have to take out loans because school is so expensive. So they know by the time you get out, you done amassed so much debt that you gotta spend time at these jobs to work to pay it back.
Yo.
So it's keeping you in there even if you don't want to be in there longer.
That's a bar.
Come on, B. You just made me think of that. Bro.
I didn't even think of that myself.
It looks like almost like this thing was pre-designed to keep you in just this.
Come on now.
This, like you say, it's a matrix, I guess, man. It's a predetermined like system already. Man, B, did we take the pill? Did we take the pill?
Listen,
already?
we had to have taken the red pill because so many people are still stuck on the blue pill. And it's funny that you mentioned that because in the newest Matrix trailer, right, there's a scene where Neo is supposedly back in the Matrix and he's constantly shown taking the blue pill, and the blue pill in the Matrix movies was a representation of people still being asleep.
Wow.
People still imagining that the world that they saw around them was the real world when it was indeed the Matrix that was created by the machines to keep them dormant.
B, come on now.
We had to have taken the red pill and woken up to the point to where we now strongly believe that entrepreneurship is the way for most of us to go.
Most definitely.
Now, granted, not everybody can be a boss. And also remember, like I have to say every single week, I do not knock jobs, right? Jobs are essential.
Yes,
jobs
sir.
are needed.
Yes, sir.
There are plenty of people in this world who are great at what they do. And, without them having a job, this world would not go around.
That's real.
But I also know that a lot of us were meant to be bosses. And those of us who are truly meant to be bosses might not be living up to our full potential because we are stuck in the matrix, taking the blue pill and not realizing our fullest potential. We got to wake up, man. We got to realize our full potential and realize what it is that we were sent here to do, what it is that we were made to do.
But how it's almost like, how do you know? Like, how do you even know you in the Matrix if you don't know?
Somebody got to wake you up or something in your head got to click and say, this ain't it, Chief.
Got to be more.
Message.
Ooh.
There's got to be more to life out there. There's got to be something else for me to do. Because I came to that realization in college, man, when so many of my friends used to go away to spring break and I was working on my spring breaks. Like I never went away with everybody else, but I was like, yo, there's got to be a way for me to have enough money to where I can pay my bills and still be able to go on trips, still be able to go on vacation. Yeah. Not just when school says I got a break, Not just when my job says I can take time off, but whenever I want to go. The world is too big for me to be able to work 50 weeks out of the year and only take 2 weeks of vacation time off.
That's it.
The world is huge. It's massive. I can't just rely on 2 weeks worth of vacation every single year and think that I'm going to be able to see as much of the world as possible.
Man, I think it's even down to the money being, if it makes me think, like the money aspect of it is also like we've been put in a matrix of the way we think about money. Like if you really think about the rich and how you always used to hear about how they avoid taxes and things like that.
Oh,
These people make billions of dollars, but then you have middle class, people that pay a lot of the taxes. In some cases, pay more taxes than rich people.
Right.
It's something there, that's off balance that they know that we don't know.
Correct.
And it's like, hey, did they take the red pill?
They took the red pill, man. They took the red pill. And it's funny that you mentioned that because it's absolutely true, man. Wealthy people are taxed way less than the poor and the middle class because the wealthy people are the ones that are typically out here supplying the jobs for the poor and the middle class. The wealthy people are the CEOs, the presidents, the vice presidents of these companies. And maybe their children or their spouses, they're connected to each other somehow. And the fact that they provide the jobs for everybody else, for the masses, who are out here working the jobs, it's just like, yo, we're going to give you a break for starting a business to help keep the economy running and for supplying us with a workforce. We're going to tax your workforce instead of taxing you because you've already did your job.
Ooh, interesting.
So the way we think about money is definitely what's keeping us in the matrix. Either you think about money as just something you're supposed to earn for the amount of time you spend working, or you think about money as something that you can obtain through means of leverage a skill set or an idea for what you're actually worth.
You spoke of a great word, leverage, B. I think that's probably when I decided to really start to take the red pills, because when I learned about the word leverage, when I realized that, hold on, I have a skill or I'm very valuable to this person or this company, then I could just take what I'm valuable at and just leverage up against what I want. Like, you can start to ask for what you want versus just, oh, let me take what you got for me. What do you have for me versus, man, I know this, I know that. What are you willing to give me for this? Let me leverage that. Because somebody out there wants what it is you have to give to them.
Right.
They want it. Like, they'll pay you for it.
Yeah.
Exactly what you're worth versus just, let me just grab this. How much you offering? $10 an hour, $12? Let me grab that. Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with it at all. I mean, you gotta make a living somehow, right?
You got to.
You gotta get it how you live, and especially if it's legal, do what it is to right. That's the key word in that sentence.
Keyword.
But do what you have to do to make your money.
Right.
I'm not gonna tell you to just stop working and stop getting your bread, but like you have to find something that you're good at.
Yeah.
For example, this right here, this podcast, this platform, this is something that we are good at.
Yeah.
It's something that we are definitely using to leverage our thoughts, our ideas, our talents, our audience,
our time,
to get us everything that not only we want, but everything that people around us want and need.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't even think about that, B. That's good.
Yeah.
That's really good, man.
Well, thank you.
Oh, man. Makes me proud. Makes me happy, man. Seriously. Well, speaking of like money and the Matrix and everything, I heard a interview this week on Ryan Leslie. He was shout out to Earn Your Leisure at InvestFest. They had him and they were interviewing him, and he spoke about he was once getting sued. I won't go into details about what he was getting sued for, but it was for $1 million. A guy sued him for $1 million, and the guy won in court to get that $1 million. So I think he said at the time his total assets were about $2.3 million that he had.
Right.
But the government decided to freeze his assets until he paid the guy off. But they decided to freeze the whole thing, $2.3 million. And
that makes no sense.
It makes no sense. And he said something clicked to him. He said, why would they do that? And I only owed the guy $1 million. And he thought to himself that this is the centralized government matrix that we could be possibly in. The fact that they had access and they can just freeze anything anytime they wanted to. They can just go into his account, say, hey, you can't touch nothing. And so he said from then on, he told people do not pay him in US dollars, currency anymore.
Right.
He said he only wanted to get paid in Bitcoin. Now this was, I want to say, I might be wrong, but he was around like 2013 or so, around like Bitcoin was like fairly new. He said Bitcoin was around like maybe $100 or so. And he said he told people to only pay him in Bitcoin. So he had a Shopify store. And he said he would sell anything from like shirts, hats, pins, whatever it was.
Right.
And they would pay him in Bitcoin. So back then, if the pen was worth, I don't know, $2, today's time, that same pen is worth $2,000.
Oh my God!
Because if you don't know the price, like back then, like he said, Bitcoin was probably at $100 per coin. Now you look at Bitcoin, it's trading at $42,000 per one coin.
Yikes.
So this man took knowledge, I guess, from the red pill.
Yeah.
Took knowledge of, investing into something that was decentralized.
And leveraged that knowledge.
Do you want to know what his return was, B, overall, though?
What was it?
His return was 32,000%.
What?
That was his return from switching everything to Bitcoin that he received from that time when he said, hey, do not pay me in currency anymore.
What was the percent again?
32,000%.
Oh my God!
If you think about this, ladies and gentlemen, if you go to a bank and you put your money in the bank, let's say you had that money in the bank since 2013, the bank will only give you about maybe at most 5%. That's a real high
Being
guess.
very generous with
Very
that one.
generous.
I was thinking 2%.
I just wanted to, maybe give him a little hope.
Ooh.
But yeah, we talking 32,000%. 32,000. So yeah, shout out to Ryan Leslie for that gem. But it just makes me think, man, to think outside the box, to think bigger, that's such a different way of thinking.
Yeah.
That we're not trained to do, or we haven't been conditioned, or
yeah, I mean, this is something we're definitely not taught in school.
You definitely ain't.
Yo.
But guess what though? We sure pay that money though.
Definitely. I still owe that money. I need Biden to do something and help clear it. No, I'm just kidding.
Not really though. For real, Biden.
Holla at me. You know what I'm saying?
Real.
Clear that debt. Clear that student loan debt out my name.
Help a brother out.
I don't want to pay no more.
Like, for real.
Sheesh. But yo, like, straight up, man, it just reminds me so much of how grateful I am to have just woken up and chosen this specific path of entrepreneurship.
Facts.
I think that I would still just be like, I don't know, man, just living through my parents, like we talked about in a previous episode, just going to college, getting a degree, getting a job, and just be like, yo, I'm complacent. I'm making this amount of money, and this is what I have to do to make a living.
Right.
Like, keep working every single day and having to wonder why so many people are taking trips to Dubai all the time, or trips to Cancun or Cabo, or trips to wherever they want to go.
Yeah.
And I could only take a trip maybe 2 weeks out of the year because that's all my job is giving me for paid vacation time.
Yeah. And sometimes it ain't even paid. That's the real tough part.
Don't get me started on that, bro.
But I mean, hey, like you said, we're not knocking the job.
Not at all.
There is better. There's always better out
Always better. You just got to find it.
Yeah.
Find what works best for you. If a job does not work best for you, if you're the type of person that's constantly at work and saying, this ain't it, there has to be more. Just think of whatever it is that you're good at. I know for years, I've always wanted to be on the radio. Always. I went to college for journalism.
Interesting.
And a minor in communications because I wanted to be on the radio. And I found out that you had to have a journalism degree to be on the radio. I didn't need my degree to do this. It's 2021 and the podcasting industry is taking off. It has already taken off. Like, it's just, I didn't need a degree to start this.
But they won't teach you that, though.
They won't teach you that, though. And the crazy part about it is, of course, when we were growing up, we didn't know anything about this.
No.
We didn't know that all you needed was just a mic, some software, something to record with. You don't even need a mic.
Yeah.
When we were growing up, smartphones weren't really a thing.
No.
until maybe after we got to college, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, shoot, if you want to start a podcast, ladies and gentlemen, all you have to do is really use the recorder device on your phone.
Yeah.
Use a microphone on the headphones that typically come with your phone. You can use that to record a podcast. You don't have to invest in mics. You don't have to invest in a computer. You have a computer that you carry around in your pocket or your purse every single day.
Every day.
Use that smartphone. Leverage your smartphone.
Yes.
Because if you're not leveraging that smartphone and you're just using it for social media and to make calls every once in a while, but mainly for social media, then you truly have a dumb phone. If you're not leveraging that smartphone to make you some money, then why do we go out there and buy the latest and greatest smartphone? Every year, a new iPhone comes out. Every year, a new Samsung Galaxy phone comes out. But for those of us who are constantly upgrading to the latest and greatest piece of technology for us to just carry around, why are we not leveraging it to make us some money?
Maybe it starts with that word leverage. Maybe we don't really understand what that word means yet. Because that didn't change for me until I understood what the power of leverage. Understanding how there's power in that word.
Right.
So maybe that's where it starts. Really understanding the word leverage and then what you can use to leverage with it.
That is absolutely true. And with that being said, let's take a look at the definition of leverage.
Let's look it up, B. What does the definition say?
According to the dictionary, it says the exertion of force by means of a lever or an object used in the manner of a lever. The second definition says the ratio of a company's loan capital or debt to the value of its common stock, equity. So in this case, I would say the leverage that we're using is the first definition. But in this case, instead of it being a physical object that we're using as a lever, we're speaking metaphorically. Right? When we say to leverage your smartphone to make money, that brings me back to the topic that we spoke about a couple weeks ago when we mentioned how OnlyFans came to be popular because they allowed their content creators to leverage their audience to make money,
Right.
to leverage their following to make money. Now, for everybody else who is not on OnlyFans but still has a smartphone, find something that you're good at. Use that phone. Use social media that we're on every single day. Use that to your advantage and find a way to make money off of that. Leverage.
That's it. Or you can continue to allow a job to leverage themselves because all they're doing is basically saying, hey, we're going to give you this 13 whatever amount of hours. That's their leverage. And in exchange, we just want your time for 40 hours. So the leverage is going to work either way. They're just leveraging a couple dollars in front of your face, which is not bad, but that's what they're doing.
Right.
And you could choose to take that and, kind of be disappointed because it's not necessarily your worth, but it's what they're giving you at the time, which sounds good. Or you can create your own leverage. I think that's the biggest thing. So,
Bars.
So be talking about creating some leverage. Or you can take some leverage that they're giving you. Which one do you want?
Create the leverage or become leverage.
Red pill, blue pill.
You decide.
Bars. That's good. That was good. I like that one, B.
Yo,
I
man,
like that one.
You want to hear something else that's crazy?
What you got,
Speaking
B?
of leverage.
What you got for me, B?
Man, I saw an article online from Careers Insider, right? I saw this on Twitter. According to Careers Insider, which is a verified account, by the way, according to the article, Americans are fleeing their jobs in record numbers right now. But the Great Resignation, as it's being called, may also contain a generational disaster in the making, right? Now, whether that is 100% true of whether it might be causing a disaster or not, I think that it is causing a disaster in the fact that a lot of people are leaving their jobs without knowing what they can leverage to make more money. And that just may cause them to hop from job to job. But then again, it might not really be making a generational disaster because maybe a lot of the millennials who are leaving their jobs have the same mindset as us and are using something that they have, whether it's a gift or a product or a talent, whatever the case may be, and leveraging that to make more money than what their job could ever pay them. So I just wanted to bring up that brief clip from the article because I wanted to tie it into what we've just been speaking about regarding leverage because it is so key. It is so crucial. And it is something that still, I mean, with everybody who's been leaving their jobs, especially after the pandemic, man.
Yes.
So many people have gotten laid off due to quarantine last year.
Yeah.
And now that everybody's outside,
We outside.
everybody outside, a lot of jobs are hiring in mass numbers and even giving out crazy incentives to start working at that specific job.
Everywhere you go, you see a hire sign now.
Yeah.
I seen one on a truck, bruh. Like, it was just on a truck. This dude was outside fixing stuff. They had it on this truck.
Man.
Like, I was talking to somebody this week, and they work for a Bojangles. And they were telling me that they don't even have enough people to open the store, so he has to close early. It's only 3 people that's working in the entire store.
Wow.
So if somebody calls out, that's it, B. They closing the whole store down.
Dang.
I mean, it's nobody wants to work. I ain't gonna say nobody wants to work, but people may be waking up, or like you say, they realizing the power of leverage, and I don't know, B.
Yeah, I mean, because the crazy part about that is last year when, we were all stuck inside the house, so many of us were either working from home or so many of us were collecting unemployment because we were laid off.
Right.
And unemployment, from what I heard, because I didn't get unemployment last year, I was working from home. But thank God, you know what I'm saying? I can't complain about that. I was still employed. But what I will say is I know some people who were collecting unemployment and it was actually more than what they were making at their job just to stay home. And that was another thing that was like shown on the news, how a lot of people did not want to go back to work because like they just got so used to unemployment, and unemployment was paying them to stay home.
It was eating good.
And not have to go into work every day. You know what I'm saying? They were eating good.
They were. I mean, hey, can't argue with it. I wouldn't condone it, but I mean, because that creates a dependency.
Oh man!
But you can't fault the people. You getting the money.
Yeah, they were getting the money and they were chilling probably all day watching Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, whatever. Like,
hopefully they was reading some books.
Hopefully. I didn't start, reading books like that until earlier this year because I had to develop a new mindset for myself. I had to leverage my time wisely.
But that makes me think about it. Even like you said, adopting a new mindset, and then you started reading more books. Then you start to learn stuff from reading a book, which then you can leverage that to use to go get what you worth.
That's true. That is absolutely true, man.
Yeah.
All of this stuff ties into each other, yo. Like, leverage is key. I might even add that into the title of this episode.
Leverage is
definitely key.
Most definitely.
I could honestly talk about this all day. Like, it is something that is such an amazing concept that once I learned about it, it really woke me up out of the matrix, man.
Nah, but for real.
It really made me see what I was truly worth. And the fact that I wasn't getting that from any job that I ever worked at. Even the job that I'm at now, I'm grateful for the job, But in my opinion, it is a stepping stone to greater things because I don't see myself working here for my entire life.
Facts.
I just don't.
Fact.
I'm grateful to be able to have income at the job that I work for now, but it's not going to be forever. I'm not going to retire there.
Not for real.
Unless I retire there within the next year or two because I'm making crazy bread.
We waiting on the deal, y'all. We waiting on the deal. Ready to sign.
Listen, I'm speaking that into existence, man. We gonna get crazy bread, like straight up.
Yeah, man.
So, neither one of us are gonna have to work if we don't want to. And if your wife decides that she doesn't want to work anymore, you just be like, honey, I got it. You know what I'm saying? Like, bang, it is what it is. And whoever I end up with, whenever I find my lady, you know what I'm saying? She ain't gonna have to work either if she don't want to.
Dope.
You know what I'm saying? Because, I swear, when I used to work retail in college, I'll never forget these 2 ladies who I met who had wealthy husbands. And they only worked for the job that I was at because they were bored. And they told me, they said they were only there because they were bored and they wanted to get out of the house and socialize with people other than their children. But for the most part, they were stay-at-home mothers and they only worked maybe 2 days out the week just because they wanted to leave the house because they didn't want to be around their kids all the time.
Must be nice.
Must be nice. Their husbands were wealthy and gave them that option to not have to work if they didn't want to.
Beautiful.
So one of those women, and I will never forget her, she's such an amazing woman, but sadly we haven't kept in touch since I worked at that job. But she told me to either marry rich or become rich and then get married. So I was actually dating a young lady at the time who had money. Her family had money, but I didn't want to marry into that family because we didn't really have a connection like that. And I didn't want to marry her because her family had money. Like I didn't want to, just get married for the wrong reason.
Right.
So we ended up breaking up. But, she's married now. I wish her nothing but the best. I haven't talked to her in years, but, you know what? I decided to go for the latter of the two options that I was given, or the two pieces of advice that married woman told me. I'm going to become rich and then get married.
I ain't mad at that, B. I ain't mad at that.
So,
That was real.
yeah.
Speaking of a guy who's doing pretty good for himself, it was a story that I saw on Instagram this week. The young man, he decided to quit his job. He was making $100,000 per year.
Sheesh.
$100K. He was 22 years old.
Oh my God!
I don't know what the job was. He didn't entail what he was doing, but he decided to go after his dream. He wanted something new for his life. He really wanted what his heart was after. So he decided to go, and I guess his idol, one of the people he looked up to, was Logan Paul. You know, one of the Paul brothers, the guy he just recently fought, Floyd Mayweather. And I guess Logan Paul had some kind of show or something like that he was at, and the guy snuck in there. He found his way in there, and he recorded the whole conversation with him and Logan. And he just told Logan, "Hey man, look, this is my dream. I want to work for you. I want to do these things for you." And Logan kind of, he talked to him. He was kind to him enough to give him his time. Logan asked, "Hey, did you sneak in here?" And he was honest. He said, "Yeah, I did. I snuck in here." So big up to him. But Logan started asking some questions and just was like, "You know what? You know, my team currently is tight right now. We're not really looking for nobody else." And he kind of denied him, but he denied him in a nice way. But the guy, he made a video of him just kind of crying because he said he left everything he had. He had family back home, but he really didn't have a lot of friends or anything, and he quit his job. Like I said, making $100K a year because he wanted to be in media. He wanted to be on TV. He wanted to do these things, and he felt Logan Paul was that guy. So, I mean, what do you think about that? Be like, do you think, I mean, that was the right move to just let it go? I mean, or is he smart for going after what he wanted in his heart?
I would say he is definitely smart for going after what he wanted in his heart. You're always smart to go after your dreams. Now, what I would say with that is how he went about it might have either been good or bad, depending on how much money he was spending or stacking. Now, you mentioned that he had a job making $100,000 a year, right?
Correct.
So if he was making that much money annually, was he living under his means, or was he living at his means or above his means?
That's a great question.
Because if he was making that kind of money at 22 years old, he could have been living above his means. But like if he was really smart and lived below his means for however long he was making $100K a year, he might have been able to set aside enough money to now, you know, be able to pay for everything he has to pay, even though he's not employed at the moment.
Right.
Or maybe he was able to stack up enough money to pay his bills. And at the same time, maybe what you said, he left his family behind, right?
Yeah, he did.
Instead of buying an expensive home that he could possibly afford at the moment, maybe he can get like a small apartment. Maybe he can get like a studio apartment, depending on where he decided to settle down. And then, you know, take some of that $100,000 to pay those bills, and then take a good amount of it and invest into his own media company. Get his own equipment if he doesn't have it already, or get more equipment than what he already has, you know? And then this kind of brings me to a quote that I was taught many years ago when I first decided to get into entrepreneurship. Work hard until your idols become your rivals. Now, that is something that stuck out to me because a lot of people, you know, who are celebrities right now, like a lot of us look up to them. You and I touched on this in a previous episode where we mentioned how growing up as young boys, young black boys in, you know, the United States, our heroes, for the most part, were rappers. They were athletes. Overall, they were entertainers.
Yep.
Right? We looked up to these people.
Michael Jordan.
Now imagine if we had the skills to be better than Michael Jordan. Imagine if we had the skills to be better than Kobe Bryant. R.I.P. Kobe.
Yeah.
You know? Imagine if we had the skills to be better than LeBron. And we had just perfected our craft while we were growing up. And we worked our butts off. So those three idols that I just mentioned became our rivals. Think about somebody like Kobe Bryant. You know, he looked up to Michael Jordan and he developed his own work ethic, right? He saw how hard Michael Jordan went. He saw how hard, you know, Jordan practiced, how many points Jordan used to get, stuff like that. And Kobe developed the Mamba mentality based off of how Jordan played. And when a lot of other players were taking days off and not practicing in the gym, Kobe was constantly there shooting. He was constantly there perfecting his craft.
Jim Rap.
And he played against Mike. He used to idolize Michael Jordan, and then he made it to the league and played against Jordan.
Battle, too.
Same thing with Iverson. Iverson got in the league way after Jordan, so I'm sure he looked up to Mike.
Most definitely.
I'm sure he did. And guess what? He got to play against Jordan, too. Now, those two players that I mentioned, Iverson and Kobe, they played against Chicago Bulls Michael Jordan. They didn't play against the Wizards Michael Jordan. I mean, later on they did, yes. But they played against Jordan in his prime.
Yes,
you understand? You understand that?
Yo. And it's funny you say that, but I just heard a story that I think Allen Iverson was talking about. He was saying, like, when he kind of came into the league, him and Kobe hung out one night, and they were talking, chopping up. They went to dinner and everything, and they were about to leave, and AI was like, yo, Kobe, what you doing after this? I'm about to hit up the club. You trying to come? Kobe was like, nah, I'm about to go to the gym.
Man.
And he was like, yo, that is the difference between, like, and what separated Kobe and different people is just his work ethic, like you said, man. So that's dope, man. That makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Work until your idols become your rivals, man, like for real. So to this gentleman who quit his job just to go work for Logan Paul, somebody he really looked up to, somebody who he really wanted to work for, he can do his own thing. He can set up shop. He can get his own media company.
Yep.
To the point to where the same way that the Paul brothers became famous, he can now do the same thing, if not more, to put himself in the spotlight up against somebody like Logan Paul.
And I would tell him, leverage, I mean, even though, he did make the video of him crying, and, that's not probably one of his most highlighted moments.
No, I'm sure it definitely wasn't.
But leverage that notoriety, because he was everywhere that I saw. Like, just leverage that notoriety that you got from that post and use that to fuel you. Use those people, to use those connections, and to get out and get places. Because, I mean, if you can make it literally to meet your idol, like, if you can make it there, find some way to get to him, you can meet some people out there.
Of course.
You can meet some people, bro.
Of course. And especially with him going viral because of the video that he posted.
Come on now.
After he, got denied by Logan Paul.
Come on now.
How many people know of him now that didn't know of him before?
Come on now, B.
You can definitely leverage that video.
Yep.
Leverage whatever notoriety that you got from making that video to meet the right people who can put you in the place to become bigger than Logan Paul.
I guarantee if he were to make a YouTube right now, just with that start of that, hey, I'm the guy who met Logan Paul and got denied. Boom.
He can grow a massive following. He can get monetized on YouTube. He can take that money and turn around and invest it into something else and start making money elsewhere as well as YouTube.
Come on
and
now.
Just grow. He can get his own media company off the ground.
Power of leverage, ladies and
The
gentlemen.
power of leverage is something amazing, yo. And once you understand it, you will be unstoppable. Especially if you can use leverage to create residual income for yourself. That made me think of a quote that I also was taught a few years ago. When people understand the power of residual income, they will walk through a brick wall to get it.
Ooh.
When people understand the power of residual income, they will walk through a brick wall to get it. Think about this. A type of person that we all know gets residuals off of something is a musician, right? Oh man, this is crazy. This is so crazy. According to Forbes, Michael Jackson earned $825 million in the year 2016, the highest earnings for a celebrity, deceased or alive, in a year. And catch this, Michael Jackson was not here in 2016 because he passed away in 2009.
Dang.
In 2016, 7 years after he passed away, earned $825 million in a year. How did he do that? Residual income. This man had the #1 best-selling album of all time, Thriller, which was released in 1983.
I wasn't even born.
Right? Neither one of us were born. And to this day, that album has been the #1 best-selling album in the world. Nothing has topped it. And Michael Jackson still makes money off of it, and he's been gone for more than a decade.
Wow.
That is the power of residual income. And once you understand that, you will do whatever it takes to get it. And all residual income is doing something one time and you're constantly getting paid from it. Michael had to record Thriller once.
One time.
released Thriller once, almost 40 years ago. And it's still making his estate money long after he's gone. So I say all of that to say, one thing I want you guys to truly understand, where your focus goes, your energy flows. Make sure you are focusing on the right things, and you will constantly give energy to whatever it is that you focus. So again, like I said, make sure you focus on the right things. If you constantly think positive, nothing but positive energy is going to continue to flow.
That's it.
And that's what you want.
That's it. And a way to keep that positive attitude, ladies and gentlemen, is create a vision board for yourself.
Ah, man, that's key.
Man, create a vision board for yourself. That is one of the most important things that you can ever do, you know? And a vision board does not have to be on a piece of cardboard paper or anything like that, a bunch of cutouts. It can be.
It can be.
But it can be on your phone. You carry your phone with you every single day. Man, put some of those inspiring things. Don't just have your background be, I don't know, some blank background or just some peaceful outdoor things. Like, put something there that you inspire to have, that you want to go, like where you want to be. Put something on your vision board that you inspire to be, that you inspire to have. Like, have something that you want to look forward to having one day. You know, I heard this thing this week, B. It spoke about, it said, write down 300 things that you want. Just start from number 1 and don't stop until you get to 300 things. And he said, when you get to about the 75th thing, your mind is going to start to lock up. Because you're going to start to think within the confines of the things that are around you. Mm-hmm. So what would you think about that, B?
I mean, in all actuality, like, I agree with that. Mm-hmm. You know, it is great to write down your goals. Like, that's something that my mother's been telling me since I was a child. Mm-hmm. Whatever goal that I have, you know, just write it down and make sure that it's something that I can see every single day, because where focus goes, energy flows. Yeah. I look at that goal every single day. I focus on that goal every single day. My energy is going to constantly go to that specific goal. Yeah. Just like we talked about in last week's episode, how we want Ferraris. You know, if we constantly put the energy out there that we want Ferraris, you know, eventually we're going to continue doing whatever it is that we need to do to be able to obtain those Ferraris.
They on the way.
They on the way.
They on the way, B.
Our focus is on those cars. We're going to be able to get those cars because not only did we speak it into existence, but we're constantly focusing on it, and we're focusing on doing whatever it is that we need to do to get to that point to where we can just say, yo, you ready? Yeah, I'm ready. Let's go Ferrari shopping. You understand? Like, who does that? How many people can say that they have the ability to do that?
Man, come on, B.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, write down those goals. Like I said, the iPad wallpaper that I have right now is a Ferrari. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm constantly looking at this thing every single day. I'm looking at it right now. Got the Ferrari on here, overlooking the Golden Gate Bridge. Now, I've never been to San Francisco, but I would love to go there in my Ferrari. You understand?
Come on now. You said some key, B. You said you look at it every single day. So after you wrote down 300 things, before you, like, going to bed, turn off the TV. Read your goals out. So that's the last thing on your mind when you go to sleep.
Right.
When you wake up in the morning, do not get on no Instagram. Do not check your messages. I want you to read the things out that you have wrote on your list. So morning and night, let those be the first thing that's on your mind. After, you know, being grateful for waking up and stuff.
Of course.
But yeah, like, let those be the first things on your mind. You got to live in the expectation that these things are coming. And you got to remind yourself of these things, because if you don't be, you already know, man, the pressures of today or the things of today, it'll come and try to discourage you and wipe you out so that you don't even believe in that stuff.
You're absolutely right. Like, so many people, the first thing they do when they wake up is grab their phone to hop on Instagram.
Come on now.
I've done it before.
Me too.
Until I developed a morning routine to get up, right? First and foremost, be grateful for waking up to see another day, and then meditating, and then reading, and then go to the gym, you know, get some sort of workout in. You understand? Like, develop a morning routine and do it constantly so that you change your patterns. You change everything that you're used to doing. Because whatever it is that you want in your life, if you're doing the same thing over and over and over again and you're not getting anywhere near where you need to be to obtain whatever it is that you want out of life, something's got to change. Something absolutely has to change. So you have to do something different to get something that you've never had before.
That's it, baby.
Right?
And check back in with us within a year, and I guarantee you'll have at least 10% of that checked off. And you'll be amazed at how that works. It'll blow your mind.
Right.
It'll blow your mind.
Definitely blow your mind.
Not for real.
Speaking of blowing your mind, man. Now I know we talked about a lot today.
Yeah.
This is something that's kind of been weighing heavy on my heart, yo. Like as we're recording this today, it is September 11th,
Yes.
and with that, man, it's been 20 years since 9/11, 2001.
Wow.
Do you remember where you were or what you were doing when the attacks happened?
Yes, I was in the 5th grade, and I remember coming back from recess, and we were coming into the classrooms, and the teacher, they were watching TV, and they were like hovered around the TV, and they kind of like, they tried to hurry up and cut it off, but we saw, and they were just like, everybody was just zoomed in on the TV, and they didn't want to really tell us what happened, I guess because we were so young at the time.
Right.
And it was just a very somber mood after. I just remember that, and it was just, even the teachers were in shock. They didn't really even know what to say or talk about, and then, of course, we later found out what happened, and, yeah, that was a pretty, that's like a day you never forget.
Yeah.
That's what's interesting about it.
It is a day that you'll never forget. Man, like, I remember it like it happened recently.
Wow.
I was 12 years old, and I was in the 8th grade. And I'll never forget, like, I didn't know anything about the towers hitting. Like, I was in class at the time, but my eyes were irritating me, right? And I kept rubbing my eyes. And when I went to the bathroom, I saw that my eyes were red. Now, I didn't know if that was from me rubbing my eyes or if I had pink eye. But I told my teacher, and then when my teacher saw my eyes, he sent me to the nurse's office. So before I left the room, they were watching everything unfold on TV. It was early in the morning. They were watching everything unfold on TV, and I caught a glimpse of it because my eyes were bothering me, but also because I was just leaving the room. Like, I didn't know what was going on. When I got to the nurse's office, I remember the nurse was listening to it on the radio, and I got to hear everything. And when the nurse was taking a look at me, she said that I can call somebody to pick me up if I needed to, because she didn't know if it was pink eye or not, and she didn't want it, me to give it to anybody if it was pink eye.
Right.
So what happened was my mom was at work, and the only person who was able to pick me up at the time was my grandfather. So when he came to get me and check me out at the security desk up front, I noticed that there were a line of parents lined up out the door to pick up their kids. Now, when I saw that, I was like, yo, what is going on? Like, what's happening? Like, granted, I heard everything going on the radio, like, when I was in the nurse's office, but I didn't really fully understand because I wasn't watching it on TV like a lot of other people were in the classrooms. And it didn't hit me until I got home that morning when my grandfather came to get me, and we went home, and I watched it on TV while I was, like, chilling in my room. I saw everything. I saw the visuals. I saw what was happening. And at the time, my mom was working in Manhattan, and I called her. I remember calling her and asking her if she was okay. I remember asking her if she was able to see what was going on from the building that she worked in. She was nowhere near the towers, so she didn't see anything, but she had heard everything. And so many people literally went home early that day because things got shut down because of what was going on. Like, seeing that line of parents as my grandfather came to pick me up, it scared me. I didn't know what to expect. And I lived in Queens at the time. So, of course, the attacks happened in Manhattan. So I was, a good distance away from Manhattan. But still, like, to know that effect reached Queens to where parents were checking their kids out of school.
Right.
Yo, that was mind-blowing to me, man.
I mean,
as a 12-year-old.
To just even think about that, like, you were still, like, I can see how that can hit you, because it's like, if I was in Atlanta and some buildings, that happened to the buildings in Atlanta, we would feel that, just the after effect here where we are. And it's just like, man, like, you were really still there. You were in it, bro. Like, not like directly.
Right.
But yeah, man. Wow.
So
crazy story, bro, for real.
Yeah, I mean, it was nuts. Like, it's really, really crazy thinking about that.
Shocking.
And the fact that it was 20 years ago that happened, man. I can't believe it's been 20 years already.
Neither can I, bro. It doesn't seem like 20 years.
No, not at all.
It doesn't. One of the craziest stories I heard about it was I heard Michael Jackson was supposed to have a meeting in that building that day.
Really?
Yeah, but he ended up getting sick, or something happened to where he just rescheduled the meeting, and he didn't end up going that day. And
Wow.
so that was just talk about timing.
That's crazy. Like, that's really, really crazy. Like, I can't even wrap my head around it, but I know that so many people to this day are still affected
Oh,
by
most
that
definitely.
day.
Most definitely.
And I want to, send healing prayers to everybody who has been affected
Yes.
by the, events of 9/11. I just can't believe it.
Yeah. Prayers to all those people that were involved.
Most
and
definitely.
The families, yo, for real.
Yeah. And I hate to kind of end on a tragic note, but to speak of something else that kind of hit us this week, Michael K. Williams, man.
Yeah.
The actor Michael K. Williams passed away earlier this week. He was found in his apartment building lifeless after an apparent drug overdose. And so many people know Michael K. Williams from his work on The Wire. That's actually where I know him from. Yeah, man, he's very talented. He was very gifted when it came to his artistry, man. He was such a good actor. The last project that I watched him on was Lovecraft Country on HBO. So yeah, I mean, he was very talented, and man, my prayers go out to his family, yo, for real.
Yeah, man. I saw him. I remember on a couple movies. One of the things recently I remember him on was he was one of the characters on NBA 2K21 actually, and yeah, man, it was it's very unfortunate to hear him passing, and especially in the fashion that he passed. I heard that he was alone, and I hate the fact of hearing anything dealing with drugs, man. But
Right.
my prayers are out to his family, and he most definitely touched a lot of people.
Yeah.
And was an impact on a lot of people. So healing prayers to all his family members right now.
For real.
Condolences.
It just kind of makes you wonder, man. Like, what was he facing? What was he battling? Like, I know, I think it was one specific interview. I don't remember where or when it was, but I know he was talking about how character he played on Lovecraft Country kind of made him relapse when it came to drugs again. I don't know, like something like that can really affect your mental health, man.
Most definitely, I believe that.
And I don't know the fullest extent of what all the actors on the show had to go through because I wasn't there, but you just never know, So I say all of that to say, man, just check on your people. Constantly check on your loved ones, see how they're doing, see what they might be thinking of, see what's going on with them. Make sure you let them know that you love them. Make sure that you let them know that you're there for them. Whether you're there to have a conversation with them or whether you're there to just be a listening ear.
Yeah.
We can have a whole show on mental health, and I think we'll actually touch on that next week.
I think so.
Because that's something that we really need to cover, especially in the Black community, man.
Yeah.
We don't discuss mental health enough.
We don't.
We have so much that we're dealing with, and we need to cover it.
I think that's a good topic.
Yeah.
I think we will cover that. Well, we won't end off there, but I will say we still are running promotions currently at this moment. So if you have any product, service, or brand that you will want to get out there, just DM us, or you can email us at residualimpact@gmail.com, and we will talk about it. And we will just look to get you on the show. We would love to hear from you as well. So yeah, if you're just looking for an opportunity, this could be it.
Most definitely. And we're going to be starting something new, y'all.
Yes, y'all. We're going to have a little segment for y'all.
We're going to have a question of the week.
Question of the week.
To end every single episode from here moving out.
Here is the question of the week.
What's the question of the week, brother? What you got for us?
All right, y'all. So the question of the week. Y'all ready for this drum roll? Till we get some actual drum roll. This question was asked to me by a fellow friend. He said, is it more important to believe or to know?
What?
I will repeat. Is it more important to believe or to know? Let us know what you think about that question. We will be answering it next week, and we would love to hear from you. So,
but before we go, believe or know what?
See, that's up to you. We're talking now in general. Is it just more important to believe or to know? It's not in specific. It's not towards something specific. It's just in general. Well, which one would you say is more important?
Bruh.
Makes you think, huh? Really makes you think. That's the purpose of it. So, yes.
So, yes, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned stay tuned next week for our answers because we will have an answer for you. And we'll definitely give our answer
Yeah.
either in the very beginning of the show or at the very end of the show, right before we ask the next question. We haven't decided yet, but we're definitely going to give our answer in next week's episode. So please stay tuned for that. And I hope that you guys have an amazing week and really think about everything that we said.
Yeah.
Think about everything that we said and apply it.
Please.
Thank you guys so much for tuning into this week's episode. We love you so much.
Thank you.
And stay tuned next week for episode 5.
5.
All right.
Yes, sir.
So again, this is your man Brandon Gio.
And your boy Jamichael Moore.
We are signing out, and we look forward to hearing from you. And please don't forget to answer the question.
Yeah.
And we will definitely include it in next week's show, okay?
Yeah. You're going to be featured on here.
Most definitely. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Peace.